Coming up in this week's episode of Coast News, a brand new year-round horror attraction has officially opened in Las Vegas, and Park Asterix have officially announced the opening date of their brand new roller coaster. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News, and as always got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Now, top story for tonight, Universal Horror Unleashed has officially opened, and the day has finally come for this brand new year-round scare attraction that has finally now opened in Las Vegas. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, the brand new horror experience officially opened to the public yesterday. Universal Horror Unleashed is a brand new year-round scare attraction located in the Area 15 district of Las Vegas, Nevada. It is inspired by the Halloween Horror Nights events, which runs annually at Universal Studios theme parks worldwide. The attraction features 4 haunted houses, 4 themed lands, along with live entertainment and several dining experiences offering original food and cocktails. The 4 haunted houses are based on Universal Monsters, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scarecrow the Reaping and The Exorcist Believer. The themed land consists of Kill Vault, Prop Graveyard, Dead Stories and Jack's Alley. Universal Destinations and Experiences New Ventures President Paige Thompson has said, "Today marks an exciting step in our expansion into new markets as we officially welcome guests to Universal Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas. Horror Unleashed will provide unique character interactions that will thrill fans of both horror and immersive entertainment." So yeah, this has been in the works for a good couple of years now, and it's something that Universal have not actually done before. Like I said at the start, it is inspired by the Halloween Horror Nights, which are world renowned for being literally some of the best Halloween theme park events on the planet. Unfortunately, I've never had the privilege of visiting a Universal Studios theme park, even during Halloween Horror Nights. But from what I've heard, it is absolutely spectacular. Every year, they absolutely blow everything out of proportion. They knock it right out of the park, and honestly, the fact that they've built a year-round scare experience that is all just like Halloween Horror Nights, but in Las Vegas, is just absolutely crazy. Now it has opened with, I believe, 8 scare attractions in total, which are the 4 haunted houses and the 4 themed lands, which are essentially scare zones. Whether they'll continue to expand upon that as in the next few years, we don't. I mean, obviously, we know that at the theme parks, when they have Halloween Horror Nights, they add new additions to it every year. So could we see the same thing happen with Horror Unleashed in Las Vegas and the one in Chicago when that opens in a couple of years? We'll have to wait and see. In other news today, Cétautomatix has officially got an opening date at Park Asterix, and this is pretty interesting to see that Park Asterix have managed to get this ride built up quite quickly, and the fact that they're opening it in such it's opening quite soon than you think actually. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Park Asterix have officially revealed the opening date of their latest roller coaster. Cétautomatix is a family spinning coaster built by German manufacturer Gerstlauer. Standing at just 46 feet tall and reaching a top speed of 28 miles per hour, it is set to be Park Asterix's 9th operating roller coaster and the first spinning coaster to operate in the park's history. Cétautomatix is themed around quote-unquote a chariot garage, and much like every other attraction at the park, is based on the book series Asterix the Gaul. Park Asterix have confirmed that Cétautomatix will officially open to the public on Monday the 18th of August 2025. So yeah, this is the unique attraction to the park. It's their 9th roller coaster to currently operate, but it's their first ever spinning coaster. Now, if you've been to Park Asterix or even heard of it, you'll know that they have a specific theme of their attractions. It's based on the Asterix book series, and it's home to many different iconic attractions like Osiris, Cétautomatix, Gudrix. Well, that attraction's iconic for the wrong reasons, but a lot of the other things that they have, and also it's just a full-on theme park experience. It's got the amazing attractions, but also the level of immersion as well. It looks like one of the best theme parks in France, if I'm completely honest. Now, I've never been, but it is one of the parks quite high up on my bucket list. Now, this ride does look to brilliantly add to that lineup, and it will obviously complement the park's lineup of attractions really well. Obviously, it is meant to be a lot more of a family-oriented coaster, with it being literally less than 50 feet tall and only reaching a top speed of 28 miles per hour. And it doesn't have any inversions as well, but what it does seem to have is quite a lot of tight bank turns and like snappy transitions. So it does look like it will be quite a fun experience overall. But with that sort of maybe tiny bit of level of thrill with like the snappy transitions and whatnot. But either way, the fact that they've announced its opening day literally this close to its official, like I believe they only announced this ride's opening date at some point this week, and it's opening next Monday. But hopefully it should be a welcome addition to Park Asterix, and I cannot wait to see what it's like when it officially opens. Also in the news today, Pantherian has officially reopened at King's Dominion. And strangely, how they reopened it, it just completely reopened out of nowhere. Like, there was no announcement on like social media saying that this ride's reopening. It's been closed the rest of the season because while they've been painting it all and testing it and refurbishing everything. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically King's Dominion have officially reopened their iconic Giga Coaster after a 10-month-long refurbishment just last week. Pantherian is an Intamin Giga Coaster located at King's Dominion in Virginia, USA. Formerly known as Intimidator 305, it first opened on the 2nd of April 2010 as Intamin's second ever and last Giga Coaster. Intimidator 305 was originally named after the late NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt, who earns the nickname the Intimidator. In 2024, King's Dominion temporarily renamed the coaster to Project 305 and announced it would receive a complete rename and retheme for the 2025 season. This was thought to have been due to the expiring licensing rights to reference Dale Earnhardt's for the ride's name. Later that year, King's Dominion confirms that Project 305 would be renamed to Pantherian and would form as part of the Jungle Expedition area, which also features the new for 2025 B&M launched wing coaster Rapterra. Pantherian officially reopens to the public on the 6th of August 2025 with no prior announcement or opening ceremony from the park officials. So that is just very, very strange indeed. Now, why they literally made no announcement whatsoever that this ride had reopened. It literally just, like, it had been closed one day, and then on the 6th of August, which was last week at some point, it had just reopened, like, completely out of nowhere. Why they made no announcement on this ride? Because it's not like it's only like a little attraction. It is a absolutely huge roller coaster and one of the most popular rides. So the fact that they didn't announce its reopening day, it seems a little bit strange to me, but either way, it's back open and people can get back to enjoying the sheer intensity and of this phenomenal ride. Now obviously, if you've been on Pantherian, whether in its current form or when it was Intimidator 305, you'll know that it's infamous for its incredibly high G-force levels, and obviously its insane intensity, especially considering that with it being a Giga Coaster, it mainly consists of like a lot of low to the ground turns and airtime hills, which is quite unusual for a Giga Coaster, and it's become infamous for people graying out on several parts of the attraction, specifically on that first turn, like immediately after the 305-foot drop. But I'm glad that it's reopened and people can get back to riding this incredible roller coaster once again. And finally in the news today, Alton Towers have revealed the first details on this year's Scarefest. Now I'm really hoping that this season's event will be good. I mean, so from what I've heard, Alton Towers haven't had the greatest season. It's basically just been a continuation of the trend of the last few seasons at the park being quite stale and quite a bit of a letdown. Now hopefully Scarefest will be decent. Scarefest has been gradually improving these last couple of seasons, in my opinion anyway. It's not still up to the standard that we'd want it to be, but it's getting somewhere slowly. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Alton Towers have officially begun teasing what we can expect at this year's Scarefest event. Scarefest is an annual Halloween event that has been hosted by Alton Towers every year since 2002. Much like recent years, this year's Scarefest appears to be introducing new scare attractions as well as returning ones. So far, the park have officially confirmed that Altonville Mine Tours, Tiny's Revenge, Trick or Treat Town, Amigos in the Afterlife, Burial Grounds and Compound will all be returning for Scarefest 2025. Daz Games Panic and The Attic Terror of the Towers will not return this year, with both attractions last operating in 2024. In terms of new offerings, Alton Towers have confirmed that 2 brand new scare attractions will be introduced this year. Though they haven't officially been described by the parks themselves, it's heavily speculated that a brand new scare maze outside Dark Forest, as well as a brand new scare zone, will both be introduced at Scarefest 2025. So that's actually quite interesting, the fact that Dark Forest is getting a brand new scare maze, and not only that, but it's also been speculated to be following the story of Dark Forest. It's not like a Darkest Depths situation where it happens to be located near Dark Forest, and yet has a storyline that has nothing to do with that area. So like Darkest Depths, apart from its first season of operation, was located just next to the tower's ruins, but sort of in front of Dark Forest. But it had nothing to do with Dark Forest. It had like a pirates theme. So it's interesting to see that they're adding a scare maze potentially themed around Dark Forest, which they haven't done in a while, and in fact I don't think they've done ever really. A lot when they usually add new scare attractions based on already existing rides or lands. Last couple of seasons it's really just been either Forbidden Valley or Burial Grounds, which is a scare zone. So it'll be interesting to see what a potential Dark Forest scare maze will look like. And as for the new scare zone, we don't really know any details on that yet, but I'm so glad to see that we are actually getting yet another scare zone. I mean, Burial Grounds is a good scare zone, don't get me wrong. It could be better though, and to be honest, just that one scare zone isn't really enough to support the whole of Scarefest, because that scare zones is what's been really lacking at Alton Towers up until when Burial Grounds was introduced a couple of seasons ago. So the fact that we're getting yet another scare zone hopefully this season is a good sign of things to come indeed. So that is it for this week's episode of Coast News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see in the next video. Goodbye.